Hello everyone! For once, Shiose is not starting the video off screen. um, well, of course Shiose is going to do her episode 26 end of season, end of arc Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's review. And well, Shiose doesn't want to waste any time, so let's just get started. Shiose moves herself over and puts on the slideshow. Yay! well, well, of course, there's a lot to talk about for this episode, and Shiose also wants to go over the season as a whole, too. But, this time, Shiose does not have a script. And Shiose is just going to go off on her own tangents whenever she wants to, because Shiose can do whatever she wants. Well, anyway, wow, this episode was really, really, really amazing. Shiose really enjoyed it. There were so many good moments, and so many hype moments, too. So, there wasn't a single thing that Shiose disliked about this episode. In fact, there are a few things that Shiose found pretty funny. But overall, for an end of arc episode, this was really hype. And, oh, the fact that they didn't actually, play the opening, but they only played it at the end, over the animation, was absolutely amazing. Oh, and these screenshots were supposed to have subtitles, but Shiose forgot to take them with subtitles, so we'll just make do. So anyway, this was supposed to have subtitles. Well, anyway, this is an end of arc episode, and Shiose really enjoyed herself. There's one part of the episode where Luke talks about how this is a fight between maximums, and it really is. This entire episode is just trap card, trap card, trap card, and then maximum monster effects. And of course Yuga tries his best to actually defeat Nail using his normal monsters. And we saw this in the previous episode, episode 25, where he tried to destroy Igidrago with a trap card, but unfortunately he couldn't do that. It seemed, at least in 25, that Yuga was very hesitant to use his friends' ID cards as his maximum monster. But in this episode, he has embraced it a lot more and has realized that, well, he needs this maximum to beat Nail. And that's just how it is. But that's not a bad thing. Especially because this whole episode is dedicated to people all coming out and standing up for Yuga. Well. This shot with the Super Magitech deity Magnum Overrode completely disassembling and then to dodge the attack is just so amazing. Honestly, Shiose has watched this a lot more than Shiose should admit to. But this one scene is just so amazing and so hype. And as Shiose said, this episode was a lot of back and forth between Nail and Yuga. Nail uses Paradigm Shift, the card that makes Yuga completely discard his hand, or return his hand to the deck and then draw new cards. Shiose wants to say 3 times. Does it happen 3 times? Shiose wants to say 3 times. Just for maximum. But what's really interesting, more so than this, is Shiose's going to skip forward a little bit. Don't worry, Shiose will come back. Is that Yuga's deck seems to be actually have been made for drawing. He has a draw engine already built into his deck. None of these cards that he uses, well, with the exception of a few, none of the cards that he uses to draw are new. We've seen Mystic Dealer, Recovery Force, and Kuribot Triple since the early days of SEVENS, like the beginning of the show. We saw Mystic Dealer in episode 1 and Recovery Force in episode 2. Shiose doesn't exactly remember which episode we saw Kuribot Triple in, but It did appear in the early days of Sevens. Maybe it was also episode 2. Well, in any case, this means that perhaps the writers built Yuga's deck based around maximum summoning way before we would even know about it, which is honestly so very amazing. Oh, this duel was just... Do you remember in Arc 5 when Jack and Yuya have their second duel at the end of the synchro arc? Jack talks about how a duel is a conversation, and this constant back and forth between them, back and forth between Yuga and Nail, is just a conversation. And it's so amazing that, it all happens through trap cards. Oh. Shiose just wants to gush about this episode, so maybe there won't be too much analysis here. But this shot with Seven's Road Magician and Seven's Road Witch facing off against Igadrago. Oh. And also, did you notice that they're both they're not fire attributes because they're dark, but they are colored like fire, and they're facing off against Igadrago, the Heavenly Emperor Dragon Tree. A tree with fire. Shiose kind of wanted Yuga to end this without his maximum, but with Seven's Road Magician, but, unfortunately that didn't happen. It made sense, but it would have been very poetic had Seven's Road Magician actually ended the episode, or ended the duel, well, and also the episode, with this. And, of course, there were callbacks to cards that Yuga used earlier on in the series, like Full Meteor Impact that he used in episode 9 against the dinosaur guy, Hakubutsu-kan, the professor. So, this was a very good end of season 2. All of the streaming sites, all of the Japanese streaming sites have this listed as season 2, so she'll say we'll call it season 2, even though in her head she feels like this is more of a season 1 ending, just by the fact that there is no opening being played in this episode. And as the duel goes on, of course, you have this exchange of back and forths. However, one of the most interesting things that Yuya again? Shiose did it again. One of the most interesting things that Yuga pulls out is Necromaid Nana, or Neku-maid Nana. The subs say Necromaid, but it's Neck-maid, which is weird. Well, in any case, we've never seen this card before, and its aesthetic really doesn't fit Yuga's deck. Neither does its typing, because it's a zombie type. So it's kind of weird. Shiose just wonders if this was maybe Roa's card, because it is a light attribute, and Roa uses light fiends, but maybe Shiose is getting ahead of herself. Shiose really likes Roa, and, well, speaking of Roa... Yuga, not you. Speaking of Roa, he's very interesting this episode, because compared to all of the other quote-unquote side characters, he actually has a lot of lines, and he talks a lot in this episode compared to everyone else. Even compared to Roman, Gakuto, and Luke. And, well, in this scene in particular, he goes on about how, while Otis said the same thing, that a true duelist would be able to draw and attract cards to you, or to him, or to whoever. And he has a lot of other one-liners over the course of this episode as well. So, the fact that they're putting Roa so center stage for this duel is really interesting, and Shiose hopes to see more of him in the future. Shiose hopes this is a foreshadowing. Speaking of Roa, we have not seen anyone in Sevens so far. We're 26 episodes in, the end of the second season, officially. And we haven't seen anyone with a X Eyes Y Dragon card. We've only seen references like, Odd Eyes Twin Tail Cat, or Blue Eyes White Dragon, or Red Eyes Black Dragon, but we haven't seen anyone with a new X Eyes Y Dragon card. And, well, usually whoever possesses that card is the one who is the designated rival. But we haven't seen that yet. So Shiose wonders if we will actually see this, maybe? But at the same time, it's been a while. And, well, in the meanwhile, we just have these shots of Roa looking out his window. If there's one thing that's really funny, though, is that it seems like the writers or the animators can't seem to agree on what distance Goa HQ is from Roa's window, because as you see in this shot and then this next one, for some reason Goa HQ is higher in this shot and also closer, as opposed to this shot where it's farther away, but Roa's looking out the same window. Roa's looking out the same window. Well, we at least know that he has a shot of Goa HQ from his apartment, which is probably very expensive, and, well, his apartment already looks expensive, so... moving on. Of course, and the shot of everyone saying Yuga's, summoning chant with him was completely hyped. Even Mimi is here, with her advisor M getup. Well, Shiose supposes it's probably because she's still part of Goha, so she can't really support Yuga, even though, she's already been counted as part of Yuga's team way back in episode 19. But, it's the thought that counts. And this scene was just so very nice. Everyone says it with him. And this card, Pair Annihilation, or as the subs say, Annihilation, but this was actually, when Shiose first saw this, she got very excited. Last review, Shiose said that she's going to predict that this duel would end in a draw, so when Nail pulled this out, Shiose was like, is Shiose correct? Will this end in a draw? Well, it didn't. As everyone who watched the episode will know, but they really teased Shiose, huh? It would have been very nice for this to end in a draw. Shiose just thinks that Nail, well as Luke said, if this ended in a draw, then both of them would technically lose and win at the same time. So while Nail would have gotten 6 penalties, so too would have Yuga and all of his friends. So, well, the stakes were too high for Yuga to lose, even to draw. But also, let's talk about Nail. This shot, once again, Shiose was supposed to have the subtitles here, but she forgot. But this shot was Nail smiling as Super Magitech Deity defeats Igdrago. But the opening is playing, and in this scene in particular, the lyrics "Tanoshin dake" plays, which is just have some fun, which implies to Shiose that Nail finally found the fun in rush dueling, or something similar to it at least. And of course the shot right after this is Yuga, and the lyrics are "Boku no rodo da ye." So it's a good finisher to this our season. And not just that, but the opening seems to have sort of foreshadowed all of this too, because the lyrics fit a little too well over the course of this episode. with the Tanoshin Dake with Nail, and then you have Rush Go Rush, or in this shot in particular, the lyrics, so Shiose doesn't remember the lyrics off the top of her head, but it's the one where it's like, so do a counterattack and then one shot reversal, baby. And so they really did foreshadow this in the opening as far as episode 1, and this is like amazing. Shiose doesn't think we've ever had a Yu-Gi-Oh that has this consistent writing. 26 episodes in. Well, Shiose was going to say 5Ds because the first 26 episodes of 5Ds was amazing as well, but well, we all know what happened there with Crow, so maybe that wasn't as consistent, but we haven't gotten to that point for a while, and Sevens has completely gone past the point and has gone beyond. So, it's very exciting. And of course the end, where we get Kaizo again. Shiose doesn't particularly care about Kaizo, but well, it was heartwarming nonetheless. However, Shiose really wants to talk about the penalties that Nail has. So, over the course of this season, we mostly saw that Yuga and company got penalties whenever they lost or won in Mimi's case, because she was technically part of the system, and also in episode 24 when Luke, Octo, and Roman dueled Otis because he was also part of their group. But the point is that we only see Yuga and company get penalties. However, none of us seem to consider that Nail might have also been getting penalties for all of the losses that he has suffered. So, if Shiose were to count this, the first one would be from Nekoyama. The second one would have been, the second one, Shiose is trying to remember the episodes on the fly. Second one would have been from Sebastian, Nekoyama, Sebastian, Arai version, round 2 with Luke, Sorako, number 4, and number 5, why is Shiose completely misremembering, what came after Nekoyama? What was episode 18 again? Shiose is, Geta! How could Shiose forget? Okay, so first, Nekoyama, second, Geta, third, Sorako, fourth, Arai version 2, fifth, Sebastian. So, Nail got all of these penalties, but we never really think about it because we've only been seeing Yuga get penalties, but we didn't think it would also happen the other way around. And this fits in with Nail's character because, well, he doesn't want to play, how should we say it, unfairly? Because he chided Arai at the end of episode 16 and said, well, you can no longer come back here because you're a dirty cheater. And also the fact that Yuga stood up for him in episode 19 at the end of Mimi's episode, because he was like, Nail wouldn't do this. Nail isn't the type to be selfish. And well, as we can see here, this entire time Nail has been taking penalties as well. Which is just very good for fleshing out his character. And, okay, before Shiose talks about this, the ending where Nail goes on about how he's so very excited, well, not excited, he's very happy to have seen a new world thanks to Yuga, and also that he thinks Rush Jewels has so much potential, and this is coming from someone who looked at Rush Jewels' source code, or was able to recreate it, and add to it. So this was foreshadowed as well, but it's nice to see it all come back and be resolved. Okay, now Shiose will talk about Rokuyo Asana. So right now, we don't have any information besides the silhouette and them talking about how, oh, well, we're definitely going to crush rush duels. We're gonna be the ones to do it now. But we do have one important thing that we know about Rokuyo Asana, and that's her name. So Rokuyo, well, you can see that Roku means 6, so definitely Goha affiliated, right? However, Rokuyo Asana, Rokuyo refers to the 6 days of the Buddhist calendar. So perhaps, Shiose isn't going to get into it now because Shiose can't remember all 6 days off the top of her head, but if you look it up, perhaps there's some foreshadowing there. And that's all the speculation that Shiose can really make here because, well, we only have a silhouette, a one-liner, and her name. And whatever she's sitting on seems to be an excavator of some sort that we saw in episode 9 with the dinosaur people. So maybe there's that. In any case, of course, Shiose just really enjoyed this episode. And Shiose really wishes that 27 on, which is supposed to be the new season, that we get a new opening. It would be very, very exciting. But, well, we've had no news on that front. Shiose just hopes that, well, they blindside us or something and 27 has the new opening and new ending. Because everything in the opening, down to the lyrics, have happened now. The Rush robot, proving that Rush duels are a very engaging and good game, to not be so rigid, to just have some fun, the ultimate Rush. Everything has happened. So, Shiose wishes for a new opening and ending in 27, and hopefully for Nail to be in it, because despite being a huge major antagonist, Nail isn't in the first opening, which is so strange. So, hopefully, next episode. So yeah, overall, Shiose really enjoyed this arc. Shiose had so much fun, and well, Shiose has been rambling for so long right now because she has no script. But this episode, Shiose thinks, deserves to have been, rambled on because there was just so many things that happened, and this season as a whole has been just so fun. So Shiose is very excited for the next episode, for 27. Keeping in line with 14, it looks to be like a breather sort of episode, but well, Shiose wouldn't be surprised if they foreshadowed things in episode 27, just like they did in 14, and that no one got until, well, Maximums came out in 23, so Shiose has high hopes for this series, and Shiose has been enjoying herself. At this point, well, Shiose doesn't want to rate a show until it's over, but however, at this point, Shiose would rate season 2, 1 and 2, officially. Once again, Shiose considers this the end of season 1, but, well, officially it's technically season 2. But Shiose would rate all of the episodes from 1 to 26 to now, as probably like an 8 or a 9. Shiose has been enjoying herself. So Shiose just cannot wait to see more of this. Well, thank you for coming to Shiose's episode 26 review, even though it was more like Shiose's rambling. Shiose will make herself smaller. Okay, so Shiose had a lot of fun, and Shiose is very excited for the rest of Sevens, and will continue doing these reviews. Well, Shiose will put her outro in somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Shiose will move herself over, and then, well, Shiose's Twitter is having some minor problems right now, but hopefully it'll all be resolved by the end of the next week. Shiose wishes. And, well, on the day that this episode's uploaded, Shiose will be streaming at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Twitch. So come to Shiose's Twitch. Come watch Shiose stream. Shiose can talk about Sevens more there if you wish. Well, thank you for coming. Shiose's leaving now. Bye. Bye.